Hey everybody, this is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. Hey guys, coming at you a little bit earlier today. I figure I would try to consolidate my videos. If I can do my video after the pro channel video, maybe I'll be on a better schedule. Well, just letting you guys know, today we gave $25 out to Sarth Meta Zero. Congratulations. This is pretty cool, to be honest. So what's neat is we have this kind of delineation between who's registered for the day. Obviously we don't want duplicates, so this one was taken out. But there were 38 unique entries on here, so pretty cool that there are 38 people that are kind of engaged. Don't be afraid to say hi in chat. That would be pretty cool. It'd be nice to get some good conversation going about crypto and markets and whatever's going on. I love that kind of feedback. But thanks for putting in your stuff. And obviously today's a new day, so you put your addresses in every day, and we'll just give $25 out to everybody every single day. I won't process or give you anything on Sunday, but I will. I don't know. I'll still give you $25 even if you do this on Sunday. I don't want to encourage anybody to do anything on Sunday, but I still want to give out $25 a day for everybody who's on here. So yeah, maybe you know what I'll do is I'll like double up on Monday or something like that. Maybe I can combine Sunday and Monday and just do two, so that you don't feel like you have to do anything. All right. Anyway, but that's cool. While you're here, make sure you're subscribed to the free channel on cryptoinfluencers.com. That's what we want to do, is kind of grow this platform a little bit. So, all right, let's talk about Bitcoin. Oh yeah, final reminder: Wednesdays, definitely join us for the live. It's always a good time. For some reason, Wednesdays are wild, and this last Wednesday was unbelievable. It was a very bearish morning, and we had a very high close, and it was definitely one of those situations where you're just on the fence. It's funny how you can have all these years of experience, you can do this for a living, you look at charts all the time. Everyone has their own built-in switching point, where enough stuff, enough indication, enough proof makes you go long. And then there's enough indication, enough proof, enough indicators. There's just enough information that convinces you to go short. Everyone has that switching point. And it's almost like, I don't know if any of you guys have a 2-year-old, but 2-year-olds are really smart about knowing exactly how far they can push you before you break. 2-year-olds are experts at finding the switching point. You're like, do I give them a timeout or do I let it go? And they just zoom in right on that line. And that's exactly what Bitcoin did yesterday, because there were some serious problems with our close. Let me first of all I guess we don't need this line anymore. That one filled its purpose. But look what happened. I'm going to put in a couple of lines just so you can kind of see the wrestle I was having. So if I put in this line here, you would expect this is the absolute bottom of our support. Through over almost 2 months of time on the top of this line, And when we finally break through, what you would expect to find is a breakdown. And so for 3 days, we were holding resistance against this line. Well, this day showed up, and that threw things into a little bit of a tailspin, but it wasn't too bad because by the time we'd waited until close, it's like right there. By the time we'd waited till close, we had such a sell-off, we had so much selling pressure that it brought us down nearly to this line. It was so close that the line is fuzzy, you know what I mean? And then we had a red candle. And so this was a perfect rejection, right where you would expect a rejection to be found. And if you moved this up to the very most, if you moved it to the most conservative level, obviously we're kind of all over the map over here, but this line defined our support for the majority of the time that we were up here. And so because of that, there was plenty of indication that, yeah, we could have run for a little while. Even with this tail, we could have been green and closed somewhere near here and still been bearish. But we did not get that. Our close at the end of day brought us noticeably, visibly above this line. So what does that mean? That means that we have a slipping point, and if we slip past resistance, that means we are breaking. And what that also means is that we've entered a channel. We're not doing resistance and support, we've entered a channel. And the channel would look like this. It would look like, let's see if I can draw this I'm going to bring this right down to the top of our candle body, right there. So this is the top of our channel. The bottom of our channel would be this bottom and this bottom. Get it right in there. Okay, so I'm going to remove this line. This is our new channel. Well, the problem with the channel is that there's a lot of room to run in here. So I shorted Bitcoin way up here. It was like 28.8, somewhere in this vicinity. Well, if we have slipped past this resistance point, then the next logical place for Bitcoin to go would be the top of our channel. So let's say it takes us a few days to get there, and we hit the top of our channel right here. Well, guess what our price is? 28.6. I've essentially given back all the gains I had. And so it's like, what do I do? You know, this is the challenge of being a trader, because this slip past here means that normally if you didn't, then you've dropped, you've hit resistance, and you've got another leg coming. Like things are falling out of whack pretty solidly. But this is a very possible scenario. And if you have support on one side of the channel, the next place you're looking for is a move to the next, is the other side. Well, you know, depending on, you know, where you are, you kind of want to put some stuff in your pocket if you're gonna end up moving all the way over up to here. So at this close, I was just really on the fence. Really on the fence. It's that perfect switching point where you're just like, all of your experience, all of your expectations, all of your past data, your indicators, everything's 50-50. You're just right there, that 50-50. And then you have to fall back to trader bias and things like that. And some of the trader bias is, and I was just explaining this to the Pro channel, there's this psychology. And it's a human kind of processing mechanism that makes you make mistakes. And one of the mistakes is this. So there are two people. The first person, you give them $5. The second person, you give them $10. So you give them two $5 bills, and then you wait for a minute, and then you take away one of the $5. So in essence, you've given both people $5. But the first person feels like they've been given $5. The second person feels like you took $5 away from them. And so there's this dissonance between, in reality, you've been given $5, and but having something in your pocket and then watching it get smaller makes you, there's an emotional difference there, and trading is all emotion. So in my case, I have $5. I've got $10 in the pocket right now, down in this area. If I let this go all the way up to here, I could either lose the whole $10 or maybe only end up with $5 or something. And in both of those cases, I didn't lose anything. So I should just be thankful, right? Well, that's a challenge, because you know, there are trades that you win, there are trades that you lose, and you kind of need those gains to offset the losses, right? So you don't want to be, you don't want to miss out on an opportunity to put some money in your pocket, you know, for the next trade. But there was one last thing, and it comes down to this. This is our current situation. Sorry, I'm going to clean up my thing a little bit. Yeah, it's hard to clean very much. I need all these lines. Here's what's happening. What happened was our support was not flat. And in fact, because this high was higher than this high, and this high, or excuse me, I'm calling it a high, it's a low. This low was higher than this low. This low is higher than this low. We have an increasing line of support. Well, that increasing line of support is probably the best fit line. It's not horizontal. Horizontal lines are better because you know, when people put in an order and they leave it forever, it creates horizontal lines in the sand. But in this case, it was almost horizontal, but it just wasn't. And if you follow this this line all the way out, you do find a place where emotionally it broke down big time, right here. And this move here was kind of a next day reaction. It wasn't the, you know, the perception would have been, we still didn't break down, and then we almost broke down but didn't. So this is why this was so confusing. But if you draw our line here, which is probably where it belongs, it's where it belongs now. Now that you have more information, it's a lot easier to see things, right? This emotional breakdown happened because we lost our line. This was a next day reaction of, no, we're not going to do a continuation. We're gonna pause and pull back. And then all of the rest of these candles, look, they all make sense all of a sudden, because even the pullback moved. This hot stove reaction to this line was, we can't handle this, we're pulling back. And then even yesterday's enormous move brought us up, and we rejected on this line. And today we're getting confirmation that we've rejected off this line. So it all makes sense. We just didn't have the line in the right place. But last night it was really hard to see. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to say emotionally that I need more information. And I haven't lost anything. It's just, am I willing to give up some of those gains to get more information? And that's where patience and trading just goes hand in hand. You just have to be like, okay, I'm in a place where I'm 50-50. I'm gonna sleep on it, and I just need more information. And one tool that traders have is that markets don't always move really fast every day. Often you have more time to make a decision than you think you do. And so with the line drawn here, there is, I mean, everything makes more sense. We have let me put this on here. So this line contains a head and shoulders pattern. Let me make it a little cleaner so that everything shows up. But yeah, so there is a head and shoulders, but it's on an incline. Makes it a little harder to see. And because of this, how do you confirm a head and shoulders breakout? Oftentimes, I mean, you can break out and you can break down and just break, but quite often you will actually come back to the neckline and you will find the underside of it as resistance, and then you'll sell off. So I think we're in the final stages of Bitcoin's full pullback. And with the line here, everything's much more clear. Much more clear. So, but still, the things that we talked about yesterday, so I'm just gonna delete this because I'm gonna try to keep things a little clean. But the things that we talked about yesterday are still in play. I really strongly feel like we won't be seeing any candle bodies closing below the 200. I think we've wrestled with the 200. We battled with it back here. We had a full meltdown down here where we were below pretty solidly. And clear as a chart can be, we've rejected off the 200. I mean, it's absolutely clear as can possibly be. We rejected the 200. And now that we had a huge candle to break above it, now we're coming back to find it as support. And if you remove this line, there is a hole here. But if you leave it in, emotionally, this chart feels complete. And so it's the 200 that has kind of changed the scenario. But there's a lot of eyes on the 200. The 200 is there are indicators built on this 200 for Bitcoin because it has been the ultimate place to buy in the history of Bitcoin. We've only touched it, like every time we've touched it, it was like the most perfect time to buy in the history of Bitcoin. Like you just couldn't go wrong buying on the 200. And the fact that we got below it is a first ever. But there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of indicators, there's a lot going on with this 200. And honestly, it's probably the stronger of the two. Between price action and the 200, we've gone from resistance to support already. Price action, it'd be really nice to catch them both. If we could get both and still hold it. But the problem is that we have to drop to 25,250 and we still need to stay above our 200. Every week, our 200 is slowly climbing and it makes it a little bit more challenging to make that happen. It can still happen, but it's just the likelihood is slowly decreasing by percentages. So that's kind of the way to think about it. But yeah, it was very challenging to see this close. Right now, the close is saying, okay, we're rejecting. We're going to have a drop. Well, whatever drop we get, it's going to have to be pretty. There's a time limit on it. So, for example, if we do drop and we pull back to the 200, we have 3 days and 7 hours for this candle. So if we landed on it, then that's fine. We'd have a full another 7 days to have a meltdown and fully recover the 200. That just makes anything below the 200 a bonus at this point. Or, we could drop quickly, but we have 3 days to get back above this line because I do not think whales are going to let us close below the 200. I think the safest, most likely close, if we are falling down, would be the 200, which is sitting at 26,194. So about 26,200 is probably one of the best buying positions to be in now that we've got a pullback in our on the way. The next move is going to be past this high, I'm sure. I'm betting we break 31,000 on the next impulse to the upside. These things take time. I mean, this is a month and a half worth of pullback. But I just don't think we've seen our climax yet. We haven't seen a selling climax. So we're getting closer. This formation breakdown, the breakdown below this line, a full touch to reject against it. This is all playing into it. The question is, 3 days. So 1, 2, 3. We have until here to do whatever we're going to do. So if we fall, I mean, we could go kind of flat for 3 days, and then starting the new week, we could drop pretty decent and then recover it within 7 days. That's probably the most likely scenario. But yeah, I just feel like this 200-week moving average is probably pretty strong, probably pretty bulletproof. And yeah, very, very interesting. This is the stuff that you know, it's kind of the example of if you're going to make a trade, pretend like you're going into a boardroom and you have to explain your reasoning. And that's kind of that's how I trade. There has to be a reason to trade. And it can't be I'm bored, and it can't be I'm scared, and it can't be, you know, you have to have a reason. And last night I had reasons for and against. I was really on the fence. But because there was no clear direction, I just needed more time and more information. And this morning we're getting it. This pullback is absolutely, it's pretty crystal clear that we're still finishing out this bearish move. I still don't think it'll be too intense because the 200 is very strong. But we just barely touched it here. If we got a candle body on it here, we'd probably have what we need. So anyway, very, very fun. I appreciate you guys supporting me. This is really cool. I think the $25 a day is definitely a fun thing to do. I like to do little things, keep things interesting around here. There's not much to say about Ethereum. It's just following Bitcoin, but it's following it less. I mean, we are rejecting against this line. This is definitely a lot cleaner because it's a horizontal line. Like, this is much, much cleaner. But I still don't think it's going to fully melt down. You know, it's showing a lot of strength versus Bitcoin. The Ethereum Bitcoin chart looks like this. We kind of fell out of our channel here, but we still have the 20 coming up and our 50. We'll see. We'll see. I'm always watching these things. If anything crazy happens, then we'll probably catch it on this channel. All right, that's pretty much it for today. Glad you're all here, though. This is good stuff. Days like today are really interesting because they make you think. You know, it's not sitting back collecting a check. It's kind of an active process. So, all right, you guys, we will catch you on the next one tomorrow. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.